Test, test, test. Yes, it's really me. I'm back. Uh, I don't know why, but every time I think about doing it, I think about how much I haven't prepared. I think about the things I need to do, and the excuses start coming. And I gotta start ignoring that. That's what I need to do. I need to ignore it. I need to just do it because as soon as I got everything set up, what's up, CE Rouse from the Left Brigade? Um, as soon as I get everything set up and I get ready,
fighter jets,
man eater coming in.
You can't see it. Even if it's right next to it, it can't see.
Which is how the BT Spirit it got into Iran, completely visibly invisible. Sig Fang, Architect of Sin. Do I need to make the Shia LaBeouf meme a thing again? A thing in what is it? Just do it. Yeah, I know. And what's wild is when I sit down and get everything set up, I'm like, all right, here we go. And I press the 5-minute deal. Like I get like there's like a okay, all right, yeah. Why didn't I do this more often? Shit, Smoke One Kenobi, yo, what's going on? What is good? John Stewart in the house, man. It's good to see all the people come in. That's always good. Look, you know me. I don't mind being vulnerable. I can't lie. Every now and then, I mean, man, they ain't gonna come in. I'm a flake. You know. And then I press play. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. They here. All right. That's what's up. Oh man, no, it's good to see you all. I'm always hitting up the way I'm like, hey, man eater, you have to come in the chat. There's got to be at least one. At least one. Don't let me sit there talking to myself. Yeah, get that pizza. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how anybody does it without a ride or die at the beginning. If you go on YouTube right now and type in how to stream to zero, you're leaving Love Island. It's not even live. It's not the 90s. It's gonna be there when you get back. And you know damn well that shit's on in the background while this is on. All right. So I don't know who you're lying to. You put the long wait times, I'm gonna be better. It's not okay. I love you. Fuck, what was I gonna say? Anyways, yeah, I'm just glad to be here. I put my you can't tell because of the camera. I don't feel like fucking with it right now. I put my Puerto Rican Doctor Strange up on in frame, and then my new Severance poster I got. I'm actually putting shit on the wall soon. Where is it? This way. Soon this bad boy will be on a wall. It's like I'm a whole grown up. It's only been there for 5 years, and I'm like, 5 years is like the maximum. If you buy something and you put it up on the wall within 5 years, you're good. That's not lazy. You did it within 5 years. You didn't hit the 5-year mark yet. We'll show up whenever. That's what's up. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Ryder dies. Yes, he's talking. No. Continue with what you were saying. Please. I already know where this is going. Listen, if you go on YouTube and search how to stream to nobody, do it if you've never done it before. There are tons of videos out there, some with hundreds of thousands of views. Because anybody who starts off streaming and just says one day that, you know what, I'm trying to do this, you're gonna stream to zero. And and some people are gonna go, that fucking sucks, and they never keep going. And then other people are like, don't care, I'm gonna stick with it. And then 1, and then 2, and then your homie shows up, and then he's talking to these 2 new people, and then there's jokes, and then three becomes, four, and four becomes five. I got to start out the gate with like one for sure, but like, Maneater was going to be there every time. She's the ride or die. But then Ernie and Chris, and it's like, I always had at least one, two, three people. There have been times where it was zero. Like maybe, Maneater was doing something, she couldn't make it, or, everybody was busy or something, and I still had to stream, and it's been zero. That shit is like, that kills you. That is just like, you know what I can do? I can make some clips out of this. I could just, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. In better news, it's not World War III, right? I mean, that's got to count for something. I guess I should say it's not World War III yet. And that's pretty much what we're going to talk about tonight. I say it's going to be a short one, and I know that I always say that, but I think it is going to be a short one because I'm only really ready to talk about one thing and one thing only, and we'll see what pops up. If y'all got anything to talk about, I got the Discord open. You could drop some shit in the suggestions, but really today is about Iran. I understand how scary that shit was. It just wasn't. I guess this is the joy of being not only 45. Not only am I like old, but I'm also had 23 years in the military, and there's like just some things where I'm just like, I see the writing on the wall, and I'm just like, here we go again. We may be in Franz Ferdinand territory. I don't think so. I think we're gonna be the strike on what's his name? Soleimani? What's that general's name? The Iranian general? Soleimani. And what happened? Everybody said the same thing. Soleimani was struck, killed like a beloved leader. He was like a war hero. He was like, people loved him. Even the people who didn't like the Islamic Republican Guard or whatever their name is, loved that dude. Killed him. Tens of thousands of people in the street. Hundreds of thousands. Just, you see the pictures. You can look it up. And everybody's like, here we fucking go. And they threw some rockets at an Iraqi base. Missed it on purpose. I would say, seeing how fucked up, and we're going to talk about this later, seeing how fucked up Israel's getting, it lets me know that whole, like, when they say they miss on purpose, they're not lying. Like, Iran has shown with Israel, by the way, with multiple countries, including the U.S., providing cover for them, and their own famous Iron Dome, right? Israel's getting fucked up by Iran. Not to say that Israel isn't fucking them up worse, right? I'm not saying like they're winning this war of attrition or anything. I'm just saying that they're fucking them up. What about Oregon DSA state rep's speech in the House state? Okay, is it about Iran? Sign in. Why am I don't understand this shit sometimes. Oh, because it's trying to open up in this thing. Okay. I got you. I don't want to use you. Oregon DSA state reps. Oh, she's in Iran. Oh my God. Yeah, I would not want to be in Iran or Israel right now. No way, Jose. And what's going on, BRDF? Benjamin? Okay. Oh, on Iran. Got it. They said in Iran. Like, God damn. Like, that's brave. Like, I heard they just got struck. Iran's fucking them up. Get me a plane. Get the plane ready. Gangster. Ferdinand set it off, but really it was about one thing. Europe no longer had to fear the Ottoman Empire, so the desire to make nice with your neighbor to prevent the larger enemy melted away. And see, that's the thing, though. The great empire hasn't been defanged, and I need people to understand this. We're gonna watch it. We'll watch that thing, Ben. I really, before we continue, I want to say something. I need people to understand something. You've all seen the charts. You've all seen, and I know I've said this before.
You can't see it. You can't see it. Even if it's right
20
next to
months.
it, it can't see it.
20 months. CG. Benjamin. 20 months. This has CGBRDF has been doing praxis for nearly 2 years. That's the homie. Everybody has told me. Everybody has seen the picture, and I know I've said this before, but I'm going to keep saying it because I don't want anybody to forget this. Where it talks about the amount of money spent on their military, right? And up at the top, obviously, is the United States. Okay, yeah, no shit. And then it lists the next 10. And the next 10 combined is not more than what the military spends by itself, the U.S. spends. By itself. We have people starving. We have more empty homes owned by investors than there are houseless people. The idea of universal health care is like this wild, like, what are you saying? Are you saying to live without technology? You want us to live off the grid? Like it's like if you're asking them to, like, everybody remove your pinky toes. Nobody's allowed to have pinky toes anymore. Like, the way they react to it, you would think it's something like that. And I need people to understand it is because we put, like, our military is stupid fucking strong. We have tons of fucking nuclear weapons. We have tons of ICBM silos all across the frozen tundra of North America. We have an entire base inside the middle of a fucking mountain. Like, the idea that, and I used to do close air support in the military, and I'm telling you, the things that we practiced in order to do close air support, we learn about things called the Integrated Air Defense System, IADS. We talk about air defense, and in our drills, one of the people we practice against is Iran, and Iran has a pretty badass air defense. Everybody knows this. Iran is like, if they're good at anything, it's fucking air defense. Like, you're not going to just fly in and out. And yet, that is exactly what we did. We sent a bunch of B-2 Spirit bombers, which are stealth, and just... They talked about it being the hardest thing. I'm sure there was a lot of work that, they make sure you go this way, that way. Here's where the radars are. I'm sure there was like an altitude and a speed and the exact direction they had to go through. But they literally just said, and if you look at where the bombs were, and I know it sounds like, if you're new here, I know it sounds like I'm being, like, prideful. I know it sounds like I'm being like, man, this is badass. I'm not. Hear me out. I'm not. This is not pride talking. They flew in to the very middle of a country that is known for their excellent air defense. Dropped 30,000-pound bunker-busting bombs into their, what they believed were nuclear silos, and probably empty. I know. and then turned around and left. Like that's when you talk about the bombing of Hiroshima and stuff like that. One of the hardest parts was leaving. Like it wasn't just because they're still getting shot at by other people that weren't blown up by the bomb. You know, they got to fly over air defense still to get out. Nah, there's a drop. Multiple, by the way, multiple B2s, multiple target sites, and then like deuces flew out. Iran didn't fire a fucking. They had no clue they were there. What is my point? My point is I really, really am happy that Iran did the same thing that they did when they assassinated Soleimani. Through some, they did step it up a little bit because Qatar's never been struck before. I've been deployed there. It's vacation. They wear civilian clothes there. You don't carry around a gun in Qatar. You might as well be at a base in stateside. Like Qatar is like chill. That's where you want to go. It's never been hit like this. And they didn't even hit them on with to damage anything. They didn't hit the airfield. They didn't hit where the soldiers were. They said boom, 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 boom. And I'm telling you, I'm not saying that we would conquer Iran. I'm not saying that the people of Iran would just fold over and it would be ours. Nope. I think we'd learn. I think if Afghanistan taught us anything, it's that there's no way that we're ever winning hearts and minds. We're not. You could sit there if you're willing to just pour trillions into it. I guess you could sit there and just kill people as they come. But it's like they're not gonna stop coming. You know, like we were there so long that the children, the infant children or the toddlers of the people we killed, we were there so long that they became the next fighters and they were adults to come fight us. Like, you know what I mean? Like the people who were in the invasion had grandkids. Americans had grandkids, and those kids joined the military and went to the same war. It's fucking wild. And so could we hold it for however long? Sure. I think it's silly when people go like, "You're not so great. You couldn't even do that." I'm like, they fucked up Saddam Hussein like in fucking a week. Like the Taliban was done. Like it's like we can't hold shit because we're not willing to put in the money to build that infrastructure. Because we're not nation. We just want to fuck shit up. We want to make a point, and we want to destroy the entire global South and destabilize the fucking whole region, and then say deuces, we're out. But Iran does not want that, especially not with somebody like Trump. Accidentally fixed myself in your stream. Can you delete that? Hold on a second. Get out of here. This thing's pissing me off. Why wouldn't it let me? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna be honest, Ben. I'm not 100%. I don't see a way to do that. Like, yeah, obviously, you have to have a way. Like I do, yeah. Sorry. Like I'm saying options to ban you, but oh wait, messages. Nope, it just shows me them, but it doesn't let me do anything to them. Are you not allowed to delete messages on here? That's weird. Anyways, if I stop interacting, it means I doze up and long day. Hey, I appreciate you just being here. Let me see. Bone Factory. Is this what is this? Is this real life? Yes. Yes. Just kidding. Wake up. Wake up. Your mother misses you. That'd be crazy, huh? And then you wake up. What the fuck was that? This little piggy went to the market. Literally, yeah. My family is for Rhodesia. I am indebted to. So I am indebted to Israel. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'll be honest with you. I don't know the history of Israel and Rhodesia. Did Israel like help? With something there? The speech. Okay, the rep speech definitely. I bet this plan was Biden admin plan that Trump found. They moved their shit before the strike. Yeah. It was empty. Who was it? Saudi Arabia. You know, in my mind, I want to believe that what happened with Saudi Arabia was like shade. It was like when they put out the report that there was no radiation detected anywhere in the Gulf. It's like weird. I thought we blew up their nuclear supply, the supply. How did we do that? And there's like no radiation detected. What I heard from the analysts is that the modern radar system was the first target from Israel's attack, so now they can't track stuff to shoot it down. That's fair. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it is a stealth aircraft, though. It's literally designed to not be able to pick up radar. So maybe like that one, and you did say modern, maybe they have some like super high speed one that would have seen the B2 and Israel got it. I can see that. That makes sense. At the end of the day, what's the objective? The objective is to like here. Let me tell you what the objective is. So, and this only works if you have a penis. By the way, this next story. So, if you're still here, I don't want to hear nothing. It's your fault. You know when you have a partner and you get into that level, right? You're getting to that point where it's like maybe you haven't gone all the way or something, but now it's time for pictures sometimes, you know, depending on the relationship. And it's time for pictures. And so it's time to do yours, right? Because they want your stuff. Like, okay, your turn. And you know, you want to come correct. You want to be strong, right? Maybe you squeeze a little bit at the base. Yeah, who knows? You know, whatever it is. And so that way, that shit like it looks the best, right? You don't want to take shitty pictures. You want to make sure your hair is clean. You want to make sure you look good. You want to make sure your beard's good, right? You don't want to take shitty pictures. It don't matter what kind of picture it is. You want to make sure you look your best. That's what Trump was doing. Trump was like squeezing the base when he dropped those. They had no intention of going to war. He knew that. He knew that there was nothing he could do to make Iran actually want to go to war. Iran's economy wouldn't be able to handle it, but almost more importantly, our economy wouldn't be able to handle it. He doesn't want a war. That's why he said now it's time for peace. Okay, yeah, we struck it. It was awesome. Now it's time for peace. Everybody, it's time for peace. Like, that's not somebody who's like, that's not strong. That's not like, that's somebody begging. He's like, hey, we did it. Okay, I had to. All right. My girl is right there. Like, imagine like you're at a fight in a club and it's like, man, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you. Let me hit you just like 2 times. Okay. Because if I get arrested tonight, my parents are going to kick me out of their house. Please just let me hit you 1 time. My girl is right over there. And then the guy's like, all right, but I'm going to punch you in the dick like once. Okay, I punch you. You punch me in the dick once. And then it's over. Okay. Deal? Deal. All right. That's when that shit happens. That's what happened. That's not what's happening between Israel and Iran. But Trump doesn't want to come out looking weak. He doesn't want to. His base, they're psychotic. His base are psychotic. His base is full of very, very, very. They're in a cult. And I people, I know we say it loosely, like, oh, they're in a cult. They just no. Like a real, like, you know how like there's normal Christians and then there's like weirdo Christians, like the weirdo Christians that are like, oh, it's okay that my kid died because, you know, they went to heaven and I'm gonna see them one day and that's why I don't look both ways before crossing the street, because I'm hoping one day God takes me up, and one day we're gonna resurrect and our dead body's gonna come to the Lord, and these people think that this is gonna happen through one way and one way only, and that is the rebuilding of Israel, right? You have to rebuild the Temple Mount. So there's a mosque there now, a very, very important mosque, and that's kind of ruining the whole thing for the prophecy, because the temple has to be rebuilt and there's a mosque in the way, and so they are waiting. They are waiting, and they're like, when is the person gonna, but they can't, because I think that everybody knows that that's like the real red line. You could blow up some of our empty silos if you want, but if they touch that mosque, the Islamic world, that's World War III for sure. That's World War III for sure. If that were to get demolished. But the Christians want that shit bad. So anything that has to do with Israel, Trump wants to do. He wants to, because he knows his base needs that. So if he could say, hey, see what I did for Israel? I'm a great guy, ain't I? We're not fighting their wars for them, right? Like, you guys don't want me to do that. We can't really afford to anyway, because we're already giving them a shit ton of money to fight their own war in the first place, and equipment, and ammunition, and aircraft. But they were about to have nukes, and your boy came in and I blew them up. I just picked up a nice vinyl record player, and now Roblox is straight. My bad. You know what's funny? I'm such a sucker. I don't know why I would do this. I want one. I think most Americans prefer Israel over the bad countries because Israel is modern, proper, clean, and respects human rights. They're the good country in the Middle East. Are you trolling me? Is that rage bait? That's not very good rage bait. They're the nice and clean country. Let's see what we got here. Charlie Kirk gets dog walked, man. I haven't streamed in a while. Sheesh. Why has nobody reminded me that I haven't streamed? Why is nobody like giving me shit every time they see me? Temp title. Let's take that off. You know what? I don't really like that picture. I know you do. I'm just kidding. Can I make this big? Yes, I can. Here, I don't even know if things are on the right setup. No stream way. Browser. This should be on browser. It is. Yeah, let's see. Well, I don't hear it. Can anybody read lips? Browser. says it is. Hold on. Stream. Let's go to stream. Stream. Where you at? Checks diary about Robot not stream. Is it muting the scene? Let me see. I don't think so. No, it's not muting the scene. Let me check my sound settings. This bad boy here. In the mixer. Where is it? Why aren't you pulling up? Close window. Oh, you were up. Fuck. Too many windows. Oh no, there's something wrong. Because the mixer's not even wanting to pull up. Oh, I know why. God damn it. Okay. What if we put it on something else? What if we put it on music? Does anything? Wait. Oh. It does work. The sound is working. What's up with what's going on here? Yeah, let's refresh. The heck? All right. Let's put it on the edge and see if I can hear it. We'll just throw it that way. Here, somebody, here. Need somebody help me out. Someone go to that link and tell me if there's sound. Because I don't hear it in either browser. I bet you if you stream more, this wouldn't happen. Damn. Okay, I'm here, Bone Factory. You know, if we were in counseling, they would say, look, you have to let it go.
Beta!
You have to let it go. Ivermectin works has followed. I love it. I love the usernames that troll. No sound, right? You can hear it. Sick thing, you can hear it? C says no sound. John says there is sound. All right, Firefox, here we go. Oh, did I uninstall Firefox? That's weird. Guess who's downloading it? This is gonna like jack everything up. Now installing. Why wouldn't you want to install something brand new in the middle of a stream? Like, why wouldn't you do that? You know, it's better that way. How about this? How about this? I'm gonna mess with this, and we're gonna do the thing that we forgot to do in the first place.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org.
Why is everything so fucking quiet? What's going on here? Is my computer fucking with me?
Warning of a spiral of chaos after the United States joined Israel's war on Iran by attacking 3 Iranian nuclear sites. U.S. stealth B-2 bombers dropped 14 bunker buster bombs, each weighing 30,000 pounds, the largest non-nuclear bombs ever dropped by the United States. The U.S. Navy also deployed 30 submarine-launched Tomahawk cruise missiles. President Trump ordered the attack without seeking congressional approval. The Trump administration briefed some top Republican lawmakers ahead of time, but no Democrats. Trump addressed the nation Saturday night.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
Iran decried the U.S. attack as a grave violation of international law, warning it'll result in everlasting consequences. Iran has long said its nuclear program is solely for civilian purposes. In March, Trump's own intelligence director, Tulsi Gabbard, told lawmakers the intelligence community, quote, continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, unquote. But
Tulsi Gabbard straight up said, oh, nice. Look at you. Look at you. Wait. Oh, nice. Very nice. All right. Yeah. CG got it. What was I just saying? Somebody help me out. What was I just saying? Yeah, no, it definitely worked that way. I can hear it. Well, right after Democracy Now! We'll watch it. Gabbard, yes, thank you. Tulsi Gabbard, straight up came out and said, "Hey, yeah, there's yeah, our intelligence says they don't have a weapon." Like, did I? Oh my god, I had no clue. I'm so sorry. Just send me your PayPal information. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And Trump was told that the next day. I don't care what she said. And then, like a couple days after that, Tulsi Gabbard was like, we actually, there is. Yeah, we just got information. We just got a call just now. And they have nukes now. They're very, very close. So, striking them is very important. Can you imagine, like, how much they don't, like, I know this is all the same shit. I know, right? This is not new shit. People who think this is new they have lost the plot. But there is something new with how much this administration is either extremely fucking stupid or like actual no fucks. They just don't care. Hey, the whole international community and the inspectors who have been there, the UN, Iran does not have enough of the material to make any nuclear weapons, and the rate at which they're making the depleted uranium is not enough to indicate that they're trying to make weapons. Yes, they are. And we're going to bomb them tomorrow. Mr. President, Tulsi Gabbard, your cabinet member, said that all indications state that they aren't close to getting any weapons. She's a stupid person, and I don't care what she has to say. We're bombing them tomorrow. Does anybody else have any questions? Don't you ever fucking ask me that question again. Don't you fucking dare. Look at me. Look at me. You're a piece of shit. Don't start crying. You're a piece of shit. Does anybody else want that treatment? No? Then ask me nice questions. Yes, Newsmax, go ahead. This is a more stupid version of what has been done before. Exactly.
Trump dismissed the findings, saying Friday, quote, "My intelligence community is wrong." On Sunday,
I was doing a bit. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing a bit. Like, obviously he doesn't just say that, he kind of says it. Nah, he just says it. You can't even parody these people anymore.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi criticized the timing of the U.S. and Israeli attacks.
Well, I think it is irrelevant to ask Iran to return to diplomacy, because we were in the middle of diplomacy. We were in the middle of talks with the United States when Israelis blew it up.
Araghchi is in Moscow today for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Following the U.S. attack, Pentagon officials and Vice President J.D. Vance denied the U.S. is pushing for regime change. But on Sunday, President Trump wrote online, quote, "It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to MIGA, make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MIGA, M-I-G-A." At the United Nations, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was gravely alarmed by the U.S. attack.
2 days ago, in this very chamber, I made a direct appeal: give peace a chance. That call was not heeded. Instead, the bombing of Iranian nuclear facilities by the United States marks a perilous turn in a region that is already reeling. From the outset of the crisis, I have repeatedly condemned any military escalation in the Middle East. The people of the region cannot endure another cycle of destruction.
Earlier today, Israel attacked 6 Iranian airports and parts of...
Only if you're Iranian CEOs. They were really upset if you're not Iranian. You say that. Did you see where Trump referred to nuclear as the N-word? Yeah, because the other N-word isn't the N-word for him. It's just the word he says, right? Like, no one says banana is the B word because we just say banana. The actual N-word isn't the N-word for Trump because it's just a regular part of his vocabulary when the cameras aren't on.
Tehran, including the gates of the Evin prison. Al Jazeera reports huge explosions have rocked Tehran. According to one count, Israeli attacks have killed at least 950 people and injured around 3,450 over the past 11 days. Iran launched drones and fired missiles at Israel today in response. One missile struck a power station, cutting off electricity for thousands in southern Israel. On Sunday, the Iranian parliament voted to back the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important shipping routes. We'll have more on Iran after headlines. Protests took place in major U.S. cities to condemn Trump's strikes on Iran, including in New York, D.C., Boston, Chicago, and Los Angeles. This is activist Nassisa speaking from New York Sunday.
Already, Israel has killed hundreds of Iranians and injured thousands more, and we see that the fighting is now escalating more and more. We're here to say that that's enough, and it's time for the bombing to end.
Columbia University graduate, Palestinian student protest leader Mahmoud Khalil is free. He's been reunited with his wife and newborn son after being released on bail by a federal judge Friday following over 100 days in a Louisiana ICE jail. He was seized by federal agents in March, becoming the first pro-Palestinian campus protester to be jailed by the Trump administration. Mahmoud Khalil spoke briefly Saturday after flying from Louisiana to Newark Airport.
Still, the fight is far from over. The genocide is still happening in Gaza. Israel is still waging a full war against Palestinians across Palestine. The U.S. government is funding this genocide, and Columbia University is investing in this genocide. This is why I was protesting. This is why I will continue to protest with every one of you.
I think you, okay, listen to me. You really need to understand that this dude, right, is a student. He's not a criminal. He's not in a sleeper cell. Dun, dun, dun. And he's just chilling. Some groceries, right? He probably was just having a conversation with his wife about how he needs to eat better. He's like, I don't know. Let me see how many calories that box is. That's a lot of sodium. And he gets to his door, and he gets yoinked into some windowless van by people with masks not telling him who they were. And then goes into a detention center for X amount of months, right? Not knowing what's going to happen next. Are they going to let him out? Did I just hear the news talk about Guantanamo Bay is making camps? El Salvador? What the fuck is going on? When am I going to see my wife again? Right? And then finally he gets let out. And he goes to the mic and says, fuck you bitches. You're doing a genocide. You're still doing it. It's just like, he's like, that's fucking gangster. If that is not the most gangster shit I've ever seen, I don't know what is. Like, to be locked away and just come out and say, nah, bitch, you thought you could silence me? That is dope.
Not only if they threaten me with detention, even if they would kill me, I would still speak up for Palestine.
On Sunday, Mahmoud Khalil addressed over 1,000 supporters and the press outside the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in Manhattan, then led a march to the gates of Columbia University. We'll have more from Mahmoud Khalil later in the broadcast. While the world is focused on Iran, Israel's continuing its massacres in Gaza. Israeli attacks killed over 200 Palestinians over the past 3 days, including many who were killed while waiting to receive food and humanitarian aid. Meanwhile, Amnesty International reports satellite images show Israeli forces have
You know, Corwin, you can let some things slide, okay? Sometimes you can just let a thing slide. I heard it too. I almost said something, but like, nah, I'm gonna let it slide. Not Corwin Chelway. Send me the link, Bone Factory. I haven't seen it.
Completely razed what was left of the southern Gaza town of Quzah. Amnesty said destruction, quote, provides fresh evidence of Israel's genocide against Palestinians in the occupied Gaza Strip, unquote. In the United Kingdom, the group Palestine Action's leading a major protest in London today amidst reports the Labour government of Keir Starmer will announce a ban on the Direct Action Group under Britain's Terrorism Act. This comes after 2 Palestine Action activists breached the country's largest Air Force base Friday and damaged 2 fighter planes in protest of Britain's support for Israel's war on Gaza. The activists also sprayed red paint into the jet's engines and on the runway to, quote, symbolize Palestinian bloodshed, unquote. In Syria, a suicide bomb attack at a Greek Orthodox church in Damascus killed at least 22 people Sunday. Over 60 others were wounded. Syria's Interior Ministry blamed the attack on ISIS. It was reportedly the first suicide bombing in Damascus since Bashar al-Assad's government was toppled in December. In California, there's mounting public outrage after footage went viral of at least 7 masked U.S. Border Patrol agents pepper spraying and brutally beating an immigrant father and landscaper while he worked outside of an IHOP restaurant in Santa Ana. Narciso Barranco is the father of 3 U.S. Marines. The agents are seen hovering over Barranco, who is pinned down against the pavement as they repeatedly punch him before forcibly putting him in the back seat of an unmarked SUV. The 48-year-old father was taken to a detention facility in Los Angeles after his arrest Saturday. One of his sons told the Los Angeles Times that his father's shoulder was dislocated, that he had not received medical attention. Barranco's son also said his father had not been given any water or food after more than 24 hours in detention. In related news, rallies...
I want to see something real quick.
California, there's mounting public outrage for spraying and brutally beating an immigrant father and landscaper while he worked outside of an IHOP.
You can't tell, but all those dudes, like maybe this guy, but his arm's in the shadow. All these are like pasty white, like I get pink in the sun dudes. But what I was looking for was fucking how many Latinos are in these things, and it's watch these videos, pay closer attention, and call that out when you see it. If you start paying attention, you won't be able to unsee it. There are a lot of Latinos out there snatching up migrants. Why are you making fun of their skin? Because I'm an anti-white racist, I guess. Right? I'm a reverse racist. It's kind of like Bizarro and Superman, except I'm smart.
Hop restaurant in Santa Ana. Narciso Barranco is the father of 3 U.S. Marines. The agents are seen hovering over Barranco, who is pinned down against the pavement as they repeatedly punch him before forcibly putting him in the back seat of an unmarked SUV. The 48-year-old father was taken to a detention.
I didn't say I was a racist. I said I'm reverse racist. Like, there's a difference. There's a big difference.
Facility in Los Angeles after his arrest Saturday. One of his sons told the Los Angeles Times that his father's shoulder was dislocated, that he had not received medical attention. Barranco's son also said his father had not been given any water or food after more than 24 hours in detention. In related news, rallies have continued demanding.
I have a robe with a hood, but the robe is, I can't say that because they have black robes too. It's see-through. It's like one of those see-through raincoats, and instead of like a pointed hood, it goes concave, which is very, very annoying when it rains because it fills up. I'm a reverse racist.
The release of photojournalist Anthony Orendorff, who is being held at a Los Angeles jail without bail after being arrested while documenting an ICE raid in the neighborhood of Pacoima last week. In more immigration news, a federal judge in Tennessee has ordered the release of Maryland father Kilmar Abrego Garcia from jail, where he's been held since being...
I think they just called those bottoms, right? I think they called bottoms.
brought back to the United States earlier this month after being wrongfully sent to and imprisoned in El Salvador. But Abrego Garcia will likely be then taken into ICE custody while he awaits his federal trial. The Trump administration's accusing him of helping transport undocumented immigrants, charges his legal team and family have denied.
This is another dude right here that you get arrested, you get sent to El Salvador, and then you get sent back to the U.S. after this, or it's almost done. What is this? 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. You get sent to El Salvador, and then you get sent back to the United States so that you can be tried for a crime and then get deported back to El Salvador. Bro, if I didn't have a wife and kids during this whole ordeal, I would have hit the eject button. I don't care. Like, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I don't have the patience for this shit.
Denied. Kilmar Abrego Garcia pleaded not guilty to trafficking earlier this month.
The true hero.
In Ukraine, a major Russian drone and missile attack has killed at least 10 people in and around the capital, Kyiv. It's the second such overnight assault over the past week. The attack hit residential areas and struck a hospital and metro station that serves as a bomb shelter. The government of Belarus has freed...
That's wild. That's wild. Did you guys see how that news segment just went? It's like, in other news, look at this fucked up civilian house that Russia is still fucking up Ukraine. That's crazy. Anyways, in Belarus, it's like, they're getting fucked up. It's the new forever war. Back when people being at war with Afghanistan was just like a day in the life, right? It was just like, oh man, somebody got blown up in Afghanistan. That's crazy. I mean, again, it's wild.
The jailed opposition leader, Sergei Tikhanovsky, alongside over a dozen other political prisoners after direct talks with the U.S. He was imprisoned in 2020 ahead of national elections in which he planned to challenge the longtime rule of the Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. Sergei's wife, Svetlana, ran for president instead, but lost in what was widely viewed as a rigged election. On Saturday, Sergei Tikhanovsky was reunited with his family, who live in exile in Lithuania. He told reporters his children did not even recognize him. He also addressed his supporters.
Они там называют They call those who oppose them traitors, and I will call anyone who does not resist them a traitor. I want to address all Belarusians now and tell you, if you were waiting for a sign, here it is.
The government of Panama has declared a state of emergency, suspending constitutional protections in the Bocas del Toro province after 2 months of worker-led protests and road blockades in opposition to a contested social security reform. The province is a major banana-producing region where workers have spoken out against exploitive conditions by banana giant Chiquita. The corporation, formerly known as United Fruit Company, fired thousands of striking workers last month. And Texas has become the largest state in the country to require the 10 Commandments be displayed in all public school classrooms. Texas's Republican governor, Greg Abbott, signed the bill as a federal appeals court ruled a similar law in Louisiana is, quote, plainly unconstitutional.
I'm almost positive the Supreme Court has ruled on this, and they said, yeah, that's okay. They're good, I want to say.
And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to make sure you never...
Thanks, Amy. You're swell. All right, let's, what is this on? Wait, where is this? I know you can't hear it. Hold on a second. Sound effects. Oh, not you, silly goose. You. Let's say that. Yeah.
Of a genocide.
Woo, that's loud. Maybe.
Live stream to our... Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I'm struggling. I had a remonstrance brewing about my school board, and then last week...
So she's in the DSA out of Portland. If you all don't know what DSA is, then I'm sorry. The Democratic Socialists of America. If you are in the United States, go to dsausa.org and find your chapter, get involved, do your thing.
Bombs started falling on cities that my family is in. And the struggle that I'm having is how I find the words, the magic combination of words, to make people recognize and respect the humanity of people who have been so thoroughly dehumanized that after 20 months of a genocide live streamed to our phones, nothing has changed. Last year, I told our speaker that people like me have known we're collateral damage since 9/11. Our lives do not matter under Western imperialism. So knowing that silence from electeds was not surprising, and still, somehow, it was completely devastating. Not everyone's been silent, though. I want to thank Senator Merkley for all the work that he's put in. And then there's Dr. Tammy Carpenter, who's a member of my school board. She's probably one of the most outspoken advocates, and she's under investigation for that advocacy on her social media. I went to the school board meeting after that decision for the investigation was made, and more than 2/3, I think, of the audience were there in support of her. And we heard a lot of impactful testimony, but the thing that sticks with me is the parent who said that sharing Instagram Reels was...
So this is Representative Farah, I think it's Chaichi. She's an Oregon State representative and a member of DSA.
Wasn't going to stop what's happening over there, but we can make our children feel safe, which is confusing for me because I remember learning in Beaverton schools the impact of televising the Vietnam War. But more importantly, our children include children who are seeing the death and destruction of their families, of people who look like them, and they don't feel safe. Now the man who's been committing war crimes with impunity has turned to Iran. And I get to beg for the lives of people I'm actually related to, instead of people who just look like me. I really hope that no one in this chamber ever has to feel what it's like to beg for the lives of your family or people you identify with and have it fall on deaf ears. It breaks you in a way that I will never be able to describe to you. So I just really hope that folks think about this, and as we advocate for fellow Oregonians, you remember that we're actual people. Thank you.
That's powerful. and then nothing changed. She probably walked off, and all the people who think it's anti-Semitic to not just completely be on the side of Israel for everything, and like, not losing my funding over that. I hate it here. Let's hear what old Trump had to say after the missiles dropped.
There's no indication at that time that he was going to follow through with the strikes, but of course that quickly changed.
We see the president now.
The U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities.
She said she was taught it. She didn't say she saw it.
President now.
The U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear...
A destructive force. A destructive force. They have never used their nukes. As a matter of fact, there's only one country on the entire planet who has used their nukes on other people. And it's us. But these 3 sites are this destructive country, Iran. Both this organizing committee, one has dead links, my state. Mississippi, let me see, actually, you know who would know? ACG. You know if Mississippi DSAs are active?
Nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
I don't know who. I'm going to Chicago for the. I'm going to be in Chicago for the DSA convention. I wonder if there's a way for me to find out like who all is sending members. Because then you would be able to see like if anybody's coming from Mississippi or not.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death.
Why does JD Vance look confused? He's like, why did I suddenly... I have no idea where I'm at right now.
It tastes like the gummies that we buy at the store. Like, it tastes like the actual gummy.
Oh.
That's the best. Like, it's good. You don't like it?
Yeah, it's good. That's what you open the door for? Get the fuck out of here.
Be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs.
Yeah, he did, John Stewart. They absolutely did. He said it was a bad deal. It was a bad deal. I didn't like it. We were getting screwed. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Listen, you remember how Ukraine had their shit? That he got the rights to some mineral rights. That's all Trump gives a fuck about. That's all Trump cares about. So when Obama secured that deal with Iran, then there was no more leverage. And that's all that Trump gives a fuck about. Que la cae? What's going on, Sock Now? Welcome. Sí, todo bien. But without leverage, how do you exploit them for more oil? Right? That's the only thing. That's all he's thinking about couches. Like, he's upset because his favorite couch, somebody's sitting on it. If you look at his face, who the fuck is sitting on that couch? Everybody here knows that's my couch.
Specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do, because you don't want a war. We can't afford a war. That's what you're hoping. You're hoping this doesn't go worse. This doesn't go worse because we can't afford it. Big up Israel. Yeah, no. No. Yeah, this weird. Yeah, you're right. We are being run by clowns. It's a complete fucking clown show. That's what it is.
I want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed.
There will be tragedy for Iran for sure. For sure. There will be tragedy for Iran. But there will be tragedy for everybody involved. There will be tragedy for the soldiers who go over there and die. There will be tragedy for all the American working class people who will suffer as our economy crashes. There will be tragedy everywhere. Maybe not in Israel, actually, because Israel's pretty good at, having other people die for them. I'm surprised they're in Gaza on their own. I'm indebted to Jewish culture in Israel. Two very, very different things. Jewish culture, awesome. Jewish culture is awesome. Israel, not awesome. Fuck Israel. Israel is a terrorist state.
Over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal.
Oh.
But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of...
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like this setup right here, and then you have Marco Rubio, the Hispanic guy. Like, I wonder how he feels. Like, I wonder how he feels for real, for real. Like at night. Do you think he has like an ulcer right now? Do you think do you think he knows that he will go down in history as one of the greatest sellouts next to Ted Cruz? Come on.
Of minutes, there's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military.
Did he almost forget God's name? In particular, God. I knew that. I knew that.
You can't see it. Even if it's right next to it.
Aramis, 2099.
It's peacetime because Trump said so, and it has to be the truth because it's law.
Thank you, Mama. It is peacetime. It is peacetime. That's what I do. That's what I do. Whenever I want to, like, if I want to make sure I have peace, I call myself the great peacemaker. And I go and I stab people. Non-vital organs, always. You don't want anybody to die, but you stab them a couple times. Then you go, hey, do not reach for that gun. It's time for peace. It's time for peace. What's going on, Aramis? Always good to see you. No idea about Mississippi. There's always ways to plug in at the national level. That's true. That's true. There's always work to do. There's committees that help guide different campaigns, and there's a lot of work to do at the national level that you could definitely get plugged into for sure. Pete Hegseth's over there like, hurry up, I'm getting sober. I need a drink for sure. Like, I don't know if he's hit a woman in like, there's a span, right? Because he has to like let loose, right? So he's like, where's my wife? Which is not funny. But also fuck Pete Hegseth. See you in Chicago? Hey, that's what's up. 35 delegates? Yeah? Well, Savannah's sending 2, which is awesome because last year it was 1. 35 fucking delegates. That's wild. Israel needs to stand on its 2 feet. Israel needs to fucking not have feet. Israel needs to be, and this is why, listen, all right, I'm going to say something. I think actually I said it yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. The whole Hegseth didn't leak these plans is a crazy news. Yeah, no shit. We're approaching 2,000 members. How many show up to general meetings? Like, do you guys have like 200 people at your general meetings? Because I mean, eventually, what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna have to like, it's gonna be like a mega church. You're gonna have to go get like some stadium. And you're gonna need like a section for the youth, and he has to wear skinny jeans and blonde tips, and he talks about how cool Karl Marx is, and if you're cool, you would love Karl Marx. The hybrid and in-person remote. Watch, Portland's gonna become the new. It's gonna be just like a mega church, with a rock band behind you and everything. We're going to pass the plate for dues. For monthly dues, we're passing the plate.
Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless...
Hold on, I got to hear that again. I got to hear him forget God's name.
God bless, in particular, God.
No, it wasn't him forgetting his name. It hurt to say his name. In particular, God, fuck, I hate saying that. We control 1/3 of the council. That's too much power. Nobody is supposed to have that much power. If I don't see socialism in Portland, with a council of DSA members, I will know it's all a farce. It's all a farce. Oh shit. Didn't fucking Trump calls Iran weak? Weak response.
Sources tell CBS News Iran's retaliation was expected and calibrated. Now, we're learning U.S. officials held meetings this weekend, and this.
I did feel good calling it, though. Everybody, like, my kid's mom, hit me up, and other people were like, do you think this is going to be is this World War? Like, this is World War III. This is gonna. I'm like, no. We killed a war hero last time he was president. This time if he had struck Tehran, if he had struck like a city or messed up like a whole ass military base, killed people, then yeah, I would be like, oh yeah, I think this might be World War III. But he blew up a freaking empty nuclear silos with nothing in them, and they tossed some shit outside of a military base. Basically he said, I could touch you, and then he's like, and then they're like, well, we can touch you, and they're like, all right, truce. Nothing was gonna happen. Billionaires, one good thing about this is billionaires love being billionaires. There is something that I have said before that I can't good night, CG. I gotta come on to a general meeting for sure. I definitely would like to see like a giant one like Portland, or imagine New York City or LA. Those things got to be huge. But one thing that I've said is capitalism kills us every day. But in a strange, demented sort of way, capitalism is going to save us from like immediate annihilation. Right? Like when we think about like nukes destroying the world and we become like, it's like in Robots Take Over and the Matrix starts and all that shit, right? Like that's not going to happen. But it's not going to happen in the same way a slaver, during the slave times, is going to stop a serial killer who's killing slaves. You know what I mean? Like they're going to get together and they're going to kill them, to kill the serial killer, to save the enslaved people, not because they love the enslaved people, but because they need them to make money. And they love money. So we can't have a serial killer out there. So they're not going to throw nukes at each other. Russia's not going to throw nukes anywhere. Nobody's going to do anything that is going to make it harder for a billionaire to remain a billionaire. They will fucking other billionaires will put a stop to it. They'll fucking pull their power, they'll pull the strings, and it'll all be done. I'm still expecting them to scapegoat some ICE agents and say they were sleeper cell if things don't go their way. Yeah, I definitely would. I think us doing some shit like that is more likely than an actual sleeper cell. I mean, it just depends. Maybe because when ISIS said there was lone wolves, a couple lone wolf people came up and then like, they shot up some mall, or and there was in Canada, there was somebody, a couple people died. But it wasn't like, I mean, shit, that shit happens all the time in fucking, in high crime areas. You know how many guns we have in this fucking country? Like, but when I think about like, terrorists are gonna start some shit, I'm thinking, some October 7th shit. Like you're going door to door. Like that's an attack. And I just don't see it. I don't see it. If something like that happens, I'm like, yeah, that was definitely ICE. That was definitely what do you call it? False flag.
This morning to prepare for an attack on the U.S. Air Base in Qatar. So let's bring in CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe. Ed, what do we know about the U.S. and its preparation for this attack? Clearly, how is it perceiving this retaliation also?
Well, Jules, just a few moments ago, the president himself on Truth Social laid out some of the details in his reaction to tonight's attacks on the U.S. military base there in Qatar. Writing on Truth Social, Iran has officially responded to our obliteration of their nuclear facilities with what he calls a very weak response, which we expected and had very effectively countered. He says there have been 14 missiles fired by Iran. 13 were knocked down, and one was set free because it was headed in a non-threatening direction. He adds, I'm pleased to report that no Americans were harmed and hardly any damage was done. Most importantly, they've gotten it all out of their system, and there will hopefully be no further hate, he says. I want to thank Iran for giving us, this is important, early notice, which made it possible for no lives to be lost and nobody to be injured. Perhaps Iran can now proceed to peace and harmony in the region, and I will enthusiastically encourage Israel to do the same. He adds in a subsequent Truth Social, congratulations, world. It's time for peace. So what the president, at least right now, is signaling perhaps is, we did what we did over the weekend. Iran has now responded in kind. Let's leave it at that and try to move on or try to get back to the negotiating table. And he confirms a few details there. One, he says Iran gave someone a heads up that this was happening, so the United States was prepared. Two, the number of missiles, we had heard some of that, similar figures, about 14 of them.
Iran gave a heads up because the base was in Qatar. Iran bombed in Men's Health Awareness Month. What a W! I don't understand. What does bombing Iran have to do with Men's Health Awareness? The base is at Qatar. The Qatar has forever been known as like a neutral, right? It's the Sweden of it's the Sweden of the Middle East, you know, if that analogy works anymore. But they've always been neutral. They've always, you know, had respect. Countries have respected that. That's why, like, high level, like, you know, so-called terrorist cell leaders have been allowed to live there because it's the middle ground. You know, like when you watch John Wick, you know, that hotel where like no fighting is supposed to be allowed and all that, because that's the middle ground. That's the place where no killing is allowed to happen. And you know, you wait till you step outside this door type shit. Like that's Qatar, and that's why they gave a heads up. And of course, Qatar's gonna freaking give them, you know, a heads up. The U.S. heads up, you know. It's making men's mental care better, puts everyone in a good mood. Yeah, I don't know who everyone is. I don't know who your everyone is. I don't know any, like, actually, it's funny. I don't know any mentally healthy people that would be put in a better mood because another country is getting bombed. I mean, bombing empty, and even if I was like a chud, even if I was like somebody who's like, fuck yeah, I love when other people die, I would still think this was fucking lame, because he hit empty silos. I don't know any men. I did 23 years in the military, mostly men. The last 14 years, I was in an all-male career field that women weren't even allowed in. I've met a few men. But no, yeah, usually mentally healthy people, and the same went there too. You know what I mean? Like if you were happy, you know, any of those dudes were happy, then what are you gonna say? Like, real men? I mean, if you say so. If you say so. But yeah, I guess mentally healthy people do like seeing other people die. I am looking to join the Navy next year. I wouldn't do that. There's a lot of better things you can do with your time. See what we got going on here. For king and country. People, when they're proud of being cucked. Iran hits U.S. bases. Oh, Royal Navy. Got it. Got it. Oh, here we go.
Hey, we're out in Brooklyn today interviewing people about the upcoming mayoral election. Early voting actually started today. It's Saturday, June 14th, and the primary is on June 24th. So here's what people had to say. What's your name?
My name is Howard.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
I'm Megan.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And are you from Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn.
Nice. And who are you supporting in the mayoral election?
I forgot his name. Mundabi, whatever it is.
Mundami?
Yeah. That's what I'm going for.
And why?
I mean, I grew up here my whole life, and I don't know. I want something new. You know, he's young. He's has good ideas. You know, I don't know. He's something for the people. That's what I say. You know, I don't know too much about him, but I like him.
Where have you? Oh, sorry. Where have you mostly heard about him?
Actually, here, because I live in Florida too. Yeah, so I go back and forth. Yeah.
So you mostly hear about him through like word of mouth, signs, or?
You know what's crazy? I saw Instagram clip, like a reel, and then I was like, this guy look interesting, and somebody came to my my parents' house, because I live here, you know, I stay with my parents, whatever, and they were telling me that he's running for mayor, so I was like, oh, I know this guy, and they were giving me a couple things that he's doing, that he's voting for, and you know, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try I don't like Cuomo, I'm gonna tell you straight out, so I'm not a Cuomo fan. Yeah, so that's it.
I don't know how anybody
and,
is.
What's the top issue for you as a voter?
I mean, we are divided. New York City is divided. I mean, the whole country is divided. But
The Creator Economy Caucus?
None of this
No,
was here.
what is that?
When there was no lines, no benches. I'm going way back. You know what I'm saying? So we're just so divided, and it's like overcrowded. That's one. The rent is crazy. You know, it's terrible. So that's one of my biggest issues, like living costs to live here in New York City. You know, this is the Big Apple, you know, so it's like, it's not good. It's not good. So that's my biggest issue. Living costs and just, you know, making it more better and affordable for the people, you know. That's it. Anything else?
No, thank you. Oh, sorry, it's a little loud here. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No worries. And good luck to everything you're doing.
Oh, the Creator Caucus, Economy Caucus, a bipartisan caucus of U.S. legislators whose members work to support online content creators. Interesting. Officially announced this month at a press conference outside of the U.S. Capitol building, joining co-chairs Beth Van Doyne and Yvette Clark were consultant and former YouTuber Matthew Matt Pat Patrick and his wife Stephanie Patrick. Also present were executives from YouTube and Patreon who announced support for the project. Interesting. Game theory. Nice. Matthew Patrick identified the promotion of internet privacy legislation, AI ethics, child safety, and algorithmic responsibility as key goals that were addressed by the caucus. The caucus aims to, amongst other goals, develop a clear tax code for content creators and their businesses separate from other small businesses. The caucus claims to have about 10 members. Interesting. I'm not going to lie. The bipartisan bit probably, that would turn me off. If I'm being completely legitimate with you, if I'm being upfront, that would turn me off. I think we live in a day and age where you can't really, I don't know how you're a Republican and still, can say you have, according to my values, I have be of good character. So, coming together bipartisan, and, reaching across the aisle, that's one thing. But like being in organization, in coalition with them, is another thing. Excuse me, is another thing altogether. So I don't know. Why don't you think joining the armed forces is isn't worth time? Um, well, I did 23 years myself. And that's my opinion. I think that especially the U.S. military will have you doing nothing but supporting a imperialist system and destroying the global south. Are there good people technically in the military? Sure, I'm sure there are. People who are, lost and brainwashed because they don't really see how fucked up everything is. But I don't now that I feel like I am. If I knew now, if I knew when I joined what I know now, I would have never joined. Um, so yeah, if anybody ever asks, like, should I join? Like, no, go do something else. Find something else. The military is never the only option. A reach around the aisle, yeah.
I hope you get some people to give you guys some good, point of view from what they're thinking so it can help your channel.
Sarah. Sarah, nice to meet you. My name is Megan. And who are you leaning toward for mayor?
I'm leaning towards not Cuomo because, there's been so much out there about how I don't think will be a good leader for New York City right now. And I think it's really important.
And yet he's the guy. Like, he's the guy to beat. How is this fucking possible? Like, how do you get removed as governor for sexual harassment or whatever the fuck it was about? How do you get removed and then go, JK, I'm going to be a mayor now? What? And then be the favored front runner? What?
Important that everyone educates themselves on the voting rules this time around with ranked choice. I think it can be really confusing for people, and it's honestly even confusing for me at times. And I think it's important to know.
Look, I'm sorry if this is anybody here. I find it very hard to. I don't know how people don't understand ranked choice voting. I don't even know what that means. I don't know, like, you don't know what ranked choice voting is. I don't know what it means to not know what, like, we all know what a list is. Put your favorite one at the top. Put your next favorite one at number 2. Put your next favorite one at number 3. Like, if number 1 couldn't be it, who would you want to? If number 2 couldn't be it, who would like, is that hard? I don't understand why that's a hard concept for people. Now, how do they score it? That could be a little bit, that could be challenging. Okay, I get that. I get being confused at scoring who wins, but nobody's asking you to fucking score it. Just put your 4 top, and you don't even have to fill up all the places. Let's say you can only have 2 because the 3 and 4 are shit. Okay, so then you put Mamdani number 1, and if Mamdani can't win, it's that other dude, the other progressive number 2. Easy. All right. 3, just to make sure that if that second guy can't win, then it goes to the guy who's going to be against Cuomo. You know what I mean? People don't care what you did, just what you can do for them. Yeah, no, you're right. It's getting politically disengaged. That's my hypothesis. Yep. Call it top 5 voting. Yeah. Like, hey, imagine. That's what the ad needs to be out. Like, imagine you're writing for BuzzFeed and you're writing top 5 mayors, mayor candidates, right? So you're writing that article and, like, coming in at, but I need you to start from the, no. Coming in at number 5, right? So I don't want them to get confused, because if you do that list, the best is always at the end, right? So you got say who your 5, your 4, your 3, your 2, and then who your favorite one is, the number 1, and then it's over. And then you just walk away. It's easy.
What the outcomes would be based on how accordingly.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, so I think it's important. what the outcomes would be based on how you're doing ranked choice. Yeah, so I think
Okay, yeah. So it kind of goes back to what I said. She doesn't understand how it would be scored. Like, how do they choose a winner with? Okay, I can understand that, but who cares? You know what it means to put your least to favorite. You know, least favorite to most favorite. Like, don't worry about the scoring. You'll be all right. Top 5 mayor candidates. 3 will shock you. Uh, doctors don't want you to know about the end of this article.
it's important, more important than ever, I think, to understand how it works and, yeah, to vote accordingly.
Cool. And what's your top issue as a New Yorker?
Oh, my top issue. I will say I think safety is a really important issue. I think it's very divisive, and I think it's a really hard issue to solve. But I think it is really important. You know, I have a baby, and so, you know, it's something that I think about a lot. And I think the situation has improved a lot, but I know it's, you know, at the top of everyone's minds, including mine. And so, yeah, that's important to me.
Awesome. Is there anything you want to add?
Don't rank Como. That's my main thought.
That's what's up.
I think that's really important. I think Como has shown.
See, and that's it right there. Like, he gets it. Like, help your girl out. Help the home girl out. Because if you don't want somebody to win, rank everything else besides that guy. That way, you're right. Ranked choice voting is a way to make everyone's vote count for something. Like, if I were the founding fathers, ranked choice voting would be the only way that would be legally permissible in the United States of America. If you did not do ranked choice voting but straight voting, it would be illegal. It would be deemed unconstitutional in my country. Do you think people should pay reparations? So in Haiti there was a slave rebellion, and the enslaved people won. They actually won their freedom. They kicked their enslavers out. They gained control, and they told France, "Get the fuck out of here." The surrounding imperial powers did not like that very much, and ordered Haiti, to pay the French families who owned the plantations reparations. And it was something like, how much did Haiti pay in reparations? Haiti reparations to France. $150 million gold francs, which would be about $500 million in today's dollars. And to compensate for all the money they lost by being kicked off the island, they paid it because, you know, countries like the United States and the UK, they said, you know, we're going to sanction you. We're not gonna. Everyone on that island is gonna starve because we're gonna cut you off if you don't do this. So they did it, so that way they can become a recognized country, a recognized nation. If that's the kind of reparations you're talking about, no, I don't.
New Yorkers that he's not worthy of being an elected official, and I really hope that we as a city can come together and avoid that.
And will you guys be voting in the Democratic primary coming up, or did you early voting?
Yes, we will be voting for the primary.
No, you're good.
Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So you were just saying, what are some issues to you as a New Yorker that you think the next mayor should address?
Well, I think the next mayor should address school politics, policing, homelessness, because I have a lot of people that were I had grown up with and were raised. They're homeless now, and they have nowhere to live. That's a huge thing in my life. They have nowhere to live. So I would if you could change that, whoever the next mayor would be, I would love that to appreciate that a lot.
So you're from Brooklyn, from around here?
Oh no, I'm not from Brooklyn. I'm from Harlem. My family's from Brooklyn though. Yeah. Shout out NYC, New York. We love y'all.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
How long have you lived in New York?
Oh my God, it's I think it's been 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, so you know, I was excited for the election.
So here's my bias. You want to hear my bias? Not only am I a reverse racist. Anybody who calls himself a New Yorker by way of like New York City right now, I mean like New York State, but like, you know, I'm a New Yorker. That says they're from New York City, and you don't have any kind of accent at all. I think that's sus. I think you're like, nah, that's colonizer behavior right there. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be involved in your local politics. You live there. Obviously, you should be involved. I would be involved. I just don't know that I would call myself a New Yorker. Like, if I moved there right now, and I've been there 10 years, 10 years from now, I still wouldn't call myself a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you had to have been there your whole life to be able to say something like that. You're from Kentucky, okay?
You know, Louisville's like a little dot of blue and like a sea of red, so you know, important to vote there. But I like changed my registration.
Yeah, tell your brother
this race.
In 7 years, he's not a New Yorker.
Zoran Mamdani, of course.
And why are you voting for Zoran?
I think, well, one, I live in a rent-stabilized building. I would love for him to freeze the rent if that's going to happen. And I like that he's straightforward about his stance on like how unaffordable this city has become. I also just think it's exciting to have like momentum in a race. Like, this is the first candidate that I think I've been excited about, that anyone's been excited about. So that's really inspiring too. And the city-run groceries idea, universal childcare, are all like, yeah, things I support wholeheartedly.
How have you mostly heard about Zoran? You think like through friends or social media? Or?
I think I first kind of got on the train.
He talks a lot.
With social media.
This whole last part is just him talking. Leadership tries to claim we're a country of peace. Yeah, that's why we're an imperialist country. Like, this is part and parcel of why the fact that everything we've done since the birth of our nation, think about it. We come from the British Empire. Like, the people who were in charge of our country knew governorship and politics from the British. You know what I mean? Like, the fucking monsters, the pieces of shit who did nothing but exploit and destroy other people's cultures. You know what I mean? And so they come here and they do the same exact thing to the indigenous population here. They did it with enslaved people. And then you can't have enslaved people unless you jail them first. Don't forget, slavery was never made illegal. They just moved it to prisons. And then, but that's not going to get, now we can't enslave people like that. I mean, we're trying to enslave as many people as possible. All right. We're trying to enslave as many people as possible, but it's not making up for it. So what do we got to do? You got to do some nation building. You got to topple some governments and support others and join in the fight, so that you can help establish the government that's left behind, right? If we could push the Koreans, the communist Koreans north, then we get to say how the ones left behind work out. That's not even mentioning what we did to Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the rest of the world. Exactly. Like, our entire, like, the idea that we are about freedom and democracy, and that we're, even calling us, actually, time out. I think calling us the world's police is one of those valid things, like before it used to be like, no, we're not. We don't help anybody, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That actually fucking works. Yeah, what do the police do? The police just uphold a white supremacist system, right? They collect the king's ransom when your registration, when you haven't paid the king's toll to be able to drive on the roads, then they give you tickets for it, right? I mean, They don't prevent crime. Everything they do is reactionary, and yeah, we're the world's police. That's what we do. We just exploit people. Britain has contributed a lot to the world, but also caused a lot of problems. Yeah, I mean, like if I showed up to your house and abused everyone in your life, like this, your family. This is so I don't know where you live, but let's say you live with your family, and I just abuse and exploit members of your family in every way possible that you could think of. Like I make your life fucking hell, and you can't do anything about it because I brought friends and they all have guns to your family's heads. And then while I'm in your house, I noticed that that you got a weird fucking like growth on your feet, and it's disgusting. And you don't know what it is. And all the other members of your family have no idea what it is. Well, it was from me. It was from me actually. I gave you that thing, and because that I actually suffered from that stuff, I know how to fix it. So I introduced to you this medicine that helps you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna inside your house. I'm gonna completely hook up your medicine cabinet with medicines you've never even heard of before, because I'm rich. You also had a fucked up sink. Like I listen. I'm living in your house. I'm R-wording anybody I want to. I am taking whatever I want. I'm beating you. I'm torturing you. I still want the kitchen to look nice. If I gotta be there, so then I remodel your kitchen for you. Put all new appliances in there. It's fucking dope. Could you have done it yourself? Maybe, but don't worry about that shit. Like nobody's gonna fucking sit there and go, "Thanks, man. Hey, did you hear about that guy that took over that family and he just R-worded everybody and tortured them and killed a couple and stuff?" I don't know if that's a little. Did you hear what he did to their kitchen though? I don't know that it's fair that you're gonna bring up all the bad stuff when he literally gave them a new kitchen. So how about you tell both sides of this story? Stop. Nobody's gonna fucking do that. Nobody's gonna do that. And that's why I don't give a fuck about anything Spain did for Latin America. I don't give a fuck about any of it. I don't give a fuck about the hospitals. I don't give a fuck about the medicine. I don't give a fuck about any of it. I don't give a fuck about anything, any technology that was brought by the Europeans, because most of that technology was not made by them. You think it was made by them, but it was made by other cultures. Like they stole the navigation equipment from the Persians, mathematic from the Arabs. You know what I mean? Like farming and cultivation from the indigenous peoples of the Americas. Like there are a lot of examples of when you find out, oh, this person did it, but they didn't have the money and the power, but Alexander Graham Bell then takes the patent, redoes it, and then patents it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's theft. It's theft. And so I don't give a fuck about any of that. Not if it means destroying someone's culture. You know what I mean? Like Canadians sat there and had to have their children kidnapped. Canadians sat there and had their children kidnapped. The indigenous people had their children kidnapped so that they could be raised away from them, so that they only knew English and Christianity. And anybody who tried to fight was murdered. There's mass graves being found to this day in Canada. Right? I mean, Hawaii was stolen. The indigenous people of the Caribbean wiped out. Like we have to learn about Taino culture through the books of the people who committed the genocide. Of the books of the people who committed the genocide. what's the solution to the situation? What are you talking about? What is the solution to something that happened 1,000 years ago? 600 years ago? I don't know. I think what we should be doing now is not sugarcoating it. But we know why. We know why this stuff needs to be sugarcoated, because that's how you keep people in check. You know, this is why leftists are always said to hate their country. We don't hate the country insofar as like, oh, I hope harm to it. We hate what it is because of how disgusting it is. You know, like, this is a great example. He was talking about European inventions. I used to enjoy the Ancient Alien show until I found out it was based on racist theories, because there's no way those people constructed that. Exactly. You look at all those fucking European structures. There's never talk about aliens, but all of a sudden you see some shit in Africa or South America, and it's like aliens. I'm like, what? Yeah. Well, how disgusting people are. Yeah, I already know that. Yeah. Is there? Do you? How does it make you feel when you hear about people talking about the atrocities that Europe visited upon the world? Like, what do you like? What does that feel? How do you feel about that? Does that make you like you think it's like not fair because there were other people doing bad things also? Because when it comes to like the modern world, like the world today, when it comes to the Americas, the sort of evil that came out of Europe, especially with chattel slavery, was unprecedented. The type of slavery that existed in the Middle East and in Africa, the type of shit that people love to talk about, like, well, there was slavery everywhere. It wasn't the same kind of slavery. It was more like indentured servitude type shit. Like the shit that we saw when what Spain brought to South America and the Caribbean, what the Brits and France brought to the Americas, unprecedented. Apocalypto is not a documentary, and it's full of bullshit. Yeah, of course there's I mean, there's a dark side to everything. You know what I mean? I mean, for what it's worth, I do think we like to romanticize. I do think there is a logical fallacy that a lot of you know, my fellow leftists do, is, you know, an appeal to antiquity, right? Or even an appeal to indigeneity, like, and I think I might have made that up just now, but it's basically like, you know, if indigenous people did it, then it must be good. I'm like, I don't know about all that. You know, people like to do that with like Chinese medicine, you know what I mean, traditional Chinese medicine, where I'm like, okay, listen, European colonizers were evil, but don't act like the fucking white rhino and the Bengal tiger isn't damn near extinct because people thought that the fucking eating the tiger dick and the rhino horn dust would make their dicks bigger and their erections harder. You know, like people back in the day thought some stupid shit, and I'm sure there were shitty things that happened amongst indigenous people too, right? But again, what came out of Europe was unprecedented. It was something that we hadn't seen. The Persian Empire under Xerxes didn't do what the Europeans did. The Mongols under Genghis Khan didn't do what the Europeans did. Under Genghis Khan and the Persians, they were allowed to keep their culture. They were allowed to keep their there was no there wasn't a concept of race yet, right? Because I mean that would only hurt your ability to move across. Like why would you care what anybody looked like? You're trying to get people loyal to you. So of course the people of Asian parts, the Oriental parts or whatever, they're gonna look Asian. So of course, yeah. Are you a warlord that's loyal to me? Oh, now we're in sub-Saharan Africa, because I'm Alexander the Great. Of course they're gonna be black as fuck down there, right? Why would you be You can't be racist because you need people loyal. Europeans invented white supremacy. I think it's funny whenever current chuds and right wingers, they talk about racism isn't real, white supremacy isn't real, and it's like you're close, you're so close. Like there was a time where it wasn't real, and race isn't real. That's that's just science. And yet everybody in these because war happened. I didn't say Genghis Khan was a peaceful person. I didn't say he was the Dalai Lama. I said that he didn't do what Europeans did. That relative to the colonizers, they were pretty progressive. Now, don't think progressive like 2025 progressive. Of course they beheaded people who weren't loyal. Like the only thing that mattered in those times was your loyalty to the crown and your language. Like you had a shared language, a shared religion. A lot of times, maybe if it was either the religion or fealty to the crown. If you did that, it was like good. Yeah, go for it. Do your thing. You just keep paying me taxes, and you guys get. There was in Xerxes' Persian Empire, there was women governors. Women can own businesses. There was female warriors in their stories. I'm not saying that they were good people if they existed today. Nobody would look at Genghis Khan and go, "Wow, he's woke." Swear fealty to me or be murdered is not woke. But the Europeans did something different. The Europeans didn't say swear fealty to me and you guys are straight. You guys are good. Go do your thing. Go live your life. Have your cultures. Have your traditions. It's all good in the hood. But your taxes come to me. Okay, bet. All right. Not the Europeans. The Europeans did something different. They said, hey, if I catch you dancing the hula, we're going to behead you. Because that's pagan. If I catch you praying to other gods, we're going to kill you. And you know what? I've been letting you keep your children when you give birth, but you keep teaching them old ways. You keep teaching them old language that we already said you're not allowed to speak anymore. And so we're going to take your children once they're born, and they're going to be raised in a special school without their parents. So that way we can raise them. And then that's how you get slave catchers. That's how you get people who become spies in the rebellion, because they were raised from children to hate themselves. Also, you're brown, gross. Period. You're brown, You can't. Even if you're cool, I don't care. You're loyal. You think your buddies are stupid for not just joining the cause? I appreciate that, but you're still brown. That's gross. That's what Europeans were like. The Spanish actually went another level. So in Spain, you had Spaniards who were born in Spain and traveled there. Yeah, right. Spaniards traveled to the New World to be governors, right? To run shit. They were the top. They were the very tippy top. They were like the highest class, right? Guess who the second class was? Is anybody can guess? Who do you think the second class was in that setup? I should have I need to get like a little plug-in. Do like a quiz or a voting thing. There's a way to do it with this overlay I have. I just haven't fucked with it. I don't really know how to do that shit. All right. I know the delay's not that long, so you might think the indigenous people because they're not black. So maybe it goes Spain, indigenous people. No, mixed people. Okay, maybe it's Spain, mixed people, indigenous people, enslaved people. Their shit was so about the country, blood and country, that it went from I was born in Spain and I'm in the New World to run shit to I was born in the New World. You could be born to two white Spaniards who were both born in Spain, but if you were born in the New World and not in Spain, you were second class. You were second class. Then came mixed race people, then came indigenous people, and then at the very, very, well, mixed race indigenous people, so white indigenous, mixed race white and enslaved, right, so white and black, and then indigenous people, and at the very bottom, as fucking usual, is the enslaved people of Africa. Genghis Khan didn't do that. You know? Yeah, so shit's bad. Shit's bad. When you know that Thomas Jefferson had a rape room, that a door to his bedroom. Can you imagine being his wife and watching your husband go into the rape door? It was a door that you went down to some steps, and it was a room that had no other way out except for those steps up through his room, and it was where his, like, saying mistress is like disgusting because it was rape, but it's where he kept the enslaved girl that he would rape and have many children with. Like, they don't want you to learn that because they want you to deify your country. But what if you did learn it? You know, like, they say that's anti-American. They're teaching people to hate, but they never talk about, but it's true though. It's true. Why wouldn't you want your citizens learning about that stuff? Why wouldn't you want them to know that the Alamo was not about freedom? You know, Sally Hemings was Jefferson's sister-in-law. She was his sister. She was his wife's half-sister. No shit. No shit. Wow. Fucking like that. The dementedness. Like, it's like, And the fucking nerve of people to like talk about these people as if they're this like awesome Christian righteous like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. These are fucking sick fucks who owned human beings as property. God, dude. And had a rape room for your wife's rape sister. Do you think the world would be better if the Imperial Federation went ahead? What is the Imperial Federation? What do you mean? Refers to a series of late 19th and early 20th century proposals to restructure the British Empire into a unified federal state. The idea was to replace the existing colonial structure with a more centralized, possibly parliamentary system encompassing the UK and its self-governing colonies like Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So creating like it would be like one single country instead of separate colonies. A unified federal state. Yeah, who knows? I mean, we're talking about like alternative history type shit now, where I mean, I have no idea if that would have made anything better. You know, what I know is that the American Revolution didn't make things better. It just changed who the oppressors were. It was the business class. It was the owning class of people who didn't want to pay taxes to King George anymore. And so the owning class people wanted to stop sending money to Britain and make their own country so that they can keep the wealth. That's why the original Constitution said that you couldn't that you had to own land to vote. They didn't give a fuck. That it wasn't even about white people. It was white people and landowning people. You have to be white and own land. They didn't give a fuck about you if you were poor, if you're black, or you're poor. You don't deserve life. You definitely don't deserve to have a say in what goes on in this country. So, and they brought the slaves, right? So it's not like the Americans invented chattel slavery. I mean, they were there. The British Empire was definitely a part of that shit. So, I don't know if anything would have been better or different. I would say not. Like the only way I could see things being better, in some alternate history is if instead of showing up. Okay, here's some alternate history for you. You want to have some imagination land stuff? Can you imagine if the kingdoms of Europe sailed to the New World and actually were Christians, like as Christians, like to think they are, on paper Christians, right? Can you imagine if they showed up and were like, wow, this is awesome. There's people here. We thought the world was flat, and then we found out the world was round, and even after we thought the world was round, we thought what we knew was it, and it was just water everywhere. There's fucking a whole new world here. And there's people, and what the fuck? This is wild. Let's work together. Let's build. Do you mind? Can I build some cities here? Yeah, of course you could live here. This is you guys were here first, let's do something great, Do you want to come see our place? This is awesome. Can you imagine if there was just a collaboration and this new trade route that gets opened up and and this new life, just like, how fucking dope would it be if it wasn't like Christopher Columbus just killing and raping everything that he saw, and said, give me a certain amount of gold, and if you don't, I will chop off your hands. And the hands he wore around his neck for not providing enough gold, he would chop off their hands. And he wore them like jewelry. Imagine if they were just fucking normal. I think we're good. I think we're good. That was a good talk. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah. It was a good first day back. I had a great vacation. For those of you new here, I do another show called Nerds of Culture. If you notice, I got like comic books and shit behind me, and toys, and you know, this Thor. Nope, wrong way. Thor. So I am a nerd, and but this is a political show, Left Face. But I also do Nerds of Culture on Thursday with the great Ernie, the Blurred Without Fear, over on his channel, Blurred Without Fear, on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Catch me over there, and then I try to make it back here, either on Fridays or next Monday. I am. They're not toys; they're action figures. No, that's a toy. That's Stan Lee. That's Stan Lee, when he's chilling on the moon, talking to the Watcher. It's Miles Morales, and then I got Angela up here somewhere. Wait, who's that? Who's that? Oh, that's Jane Foster Thor. And that's Vegemite. Which, by the way, is fucking disgusting. I don't know how Australians do it. See us for the winter equinox. Listen. We're doing it. We're doing it, okay? We're back. Here's what I'll say. Fridays are going to be if I feel it, right? If I feel it. Mondays is work. Okay? Mondays is work. Mondays is going to happen. I'm going to have to be ill to not do Mondays. There's no not feeling it. Don't give a fuck if you're not feeling it. I'm saying it now. Okay? Clip this. There is no not feeling it. I got to be physically ill or traveling or something. Mondays, 7 o'clock, right here. I'm sorry, 8 o'clock. Sundays, 8 p.m. Mondays, 8 p.m. right here. Rain, sun, and even when I'm not feeling it. But the show might not be as fun then. But it's going to happen. Listen, when you're out there taking care of each other, don't forget to wash your hands, hydrate, take care of yourself. I'll see you all on Thursday or Friday or Monday. This is Left Face. I'm Robo. I love y'all. Take it easy.